the way that this thing that I have been calling recovery from a cult experience, from my 27 years in Scientology, how it rolls out. And there's an analogy that is often made, which I think I've talked about before, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to lay it out for you guys here. And that is the analogy of the onion skin layers, right, of recovery. When you're in a destructive cult situation, you are building up walls around yourself, around your personality, walls of the cult leader's personality and influence on you, and how you need to be more like that person or those people, if it's a group of people. Walls of security and safety of having to guard yourself against certain things, or certain precautions you have to take. And then just layers and layers of thinking, of bias, of ways of thinking about things based on the cult teachings. And this would be true for any group, but in a cult, it's such a concentrated, extreme effort that's made with indoctrination. It's not just teaching, it's indoctrination. It's not just a group of people getting together to have some fun. It's very serious, and specifically bringing us to the topic of the main theme of the podcast, I think, this week, which is saving the planet. This idea that what you're doing with this group is so vital, so important, so all-consuming, and so needful of all your time and all your energy and all your resources, because you are saving the world. And this has been something that I, through conversations and looking and thinking about this with my family and friends, it's become clear to me that this saving the world thing was not something that I always had in my mind. And for a long time I thought it was. I thought, ever since I was born, I've always wanted to save the world. And no, if I take an honest look at my childhood.
You weren't trying to do that when you were 5.
Exactly. Or my teen years, right? And maybe in a way, this was me, in terms of these onion skin layers, the thing that I was explaining a minute ago. You build these things up, and then when you come out of the group or the cult or whatever, I'm doing the watermelon thing here now. I love this. If you could see, if you're watching me on video, you can see my hand sitting there doing the onion watermelon thing that I'm always joking about. When you come out of the cult situation, you start stripping off these layers, but they come off. The reason the onion is such an apt analogy is because the top layer comes off. That's the stuff you're aware of right when you get out of the cult. All the crazy stuff, or the physical violence, or the disconnection, or the stuff that, all that. That's the stuff that comes off first. That's the surface layer stuff. That's easy to get off. Anybody can see that, some of that stuff is like really, really hard to deal with, or to want to put up with, or anything, right? Like disconnection, for example. You come out of a cult and you're like, what was I thinking? Disconnection is insane. That's, the shunning, that's crazy. And you shed that layer. And now you no longer feel that disconnection or shunning is a tough love situation that you need to be part of. You realize that what you're actually doing is victimizing people and yourself, and you're denying yourself and them, the connection, your connection. And if there is anything that makes life worth living, it is our connections with one another.
We're social animals.
Exactly. It is literally built into us. It is not an option to be social. So, how we go about that, of course, is,
that's up to us.
And down. But the fact of having to be social, the no man is an island thing, that's very, very true. So anyway, more and more layers come off. And you start thinking after a while of this, and I have shared with you guys almost all of the significant milestones along the way over the last 6 years. And there have been some real doozies, some real big ones. Stuff I didn't see coming, stuff I didn't know was there to be uncovered. But you don't know about it. You can't see through the onion, you see. You can only see the next layer. And that comes off, and then there's another one, and then that comes off, and then there's another one. And after a while, these layers start becoming so deep, so much a part of who you are, that you don't easily differentiate. It's not so obvious. It's not like the shunning thing or the physical violence stuff or the stuff that's a lot more easy to come to a realization that that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That's bad. Working 5 straight days, or getting 4 hours sleep a night for 3 years. That was probably not a good idea.
Yeah.